Is anybody know here about insurance in general? Raise your hand. Great. Well, maybe 30% makes sense. What's shocking, really, is that insurance is completely off and struggling to predict risks in the new age of data within mobility. Basically, it means that vehicles are more and more sophisticated, generating tons of data. There are new, not new, but business models such as ride-hailing, ride-sharing, last-mile delivery, which again, these are marketplaces which generate tons of data. And what we find out that still insurance is extremely expensive, very minimum amount of product offered to these businesses. And what you see is very expensive insurance that sometimes shut down the businesses themselves. Just tell me how do I change here to the next? Oh, thank you. So connected insurance, we empower fleets and OEMs with comprehensive solutions and intelligence to minimize insurance costs and streamline insurance operations. In general, we are an AI company, and we use data and the AI infrastructure in order to find subtle patterns of risk segments. And we're going to talk about these segments in the next slide. It means that I know to break down the risk into several elements, and with that, I'm making it way more effective and way more accurate. Our mission is to replace the traditional risk models, as well as the driving behavior, which try to resolve, but they're not very accurate. And we see it in the Tesla models and etc. They're just not very accurate. But our first job is to make money and to increase the value of every single mile ridden by our clients. Our clients, again, are the fleets and the marketplaces. So if I'll give you an example, with that you'll understand better what we do. Let's take Uber. Uber is paying based on traditional business model. So it means, and then if I gave her a number, which is just as an example, $10 for a car driving per hour. Now this $10 is extremely expensive. It's still worth the business, but it's extremely expensive. What connected insurance does is accurately identify and segment the risk levels. So if you look below, you would see that an hour can turn into idle time driven, and where the driver is basically waiting for a call, driving to pick up a client, and driving a passenger. Our model knows to identify real time the risk associated and the price to it. And with that, if I'm going to show you like a real case, the real case would be that within the hour, there's only 25 minutes of idle time, 15 minutes of driving to pick up a client, and 20 minutes to drive a passenger, which basically ends up in 14% less than the flat fee that Uber is paying. It's 14% net saving. And if you time that by the amount of millions of vehicles that Uber has, time the hours that they're spending 24/7, it's fortune for Uber and as such. Our technology is basically providing or taking the data coming from the connected vehicle, enriching it with contextual data, and generates the comprehensive risk profile, which is more understandable by the carrier, and because of that, they trust the model and they give us better pricing per the segments. We give insurance gateway to these clients, which basically means that through us, we get embedded insurance into the smart embedded insurance into the vehicle, into the fleets, and again, it boils down to less insurance cost per mile ridden because every mile is changing. And the last thing is, of course, comprehensive platform which installed within the companies, where they can monitor globally their insurance portfolio, as well as advise them and give them insights about claim settlements, what is the right price to settle, and rather than dragging claims forever and sometimes losing a lot of money. Our model is basically to charge $5 per vehicle per month, and whenever we enable embedded insurance, it's $100 per vehicle. We are trusted by a bunch of tier one carriers in the world, which trust our models, and clients that we have with 5 years contracts are Turo, which is the world's largest car sharing, Hyundai Motors, and VGM. We're three founders with vast experience from AI to business and insurance, supported by an amazing line of advisors coming from the insurance and from the mobility industry. So we are Connected Insurance, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.